but he missed all of them because the guy is behind the rock. It's not shootable. But the aimbot is failing right now, right? It's exactly the same thing. Try to debunk it, anybody. Try to debunk it, anybody.
Wait, I'm an anybody? That means it's fair game for me to debunk? Sheesh, I'm down. Grab your popcorn, boys. This video's about to hit different. Alright, how's it hanging, dudes and dudettes? I am definitely not Shawn, and by now you have all seen this debunked clip from a hack hunter by the name of Yieldiz. It shows red blotches that led most to think it appeared as wall hacks on Diaz Biffle's screen, right? So problem is, in the full VOD, which is now deleted, Diaz's blotchy mess was happening through the whole stream. It's due to the sus low quality of Biff's stream combined with low bitrate stream render mixed with game compression, video compression. It is, what visually caused what admittedly looks suspect, but with a bit of research, a bit of context, which our boy Yieldiz didn't seem to do much of, no offense, you can clearly debunk this and save yourself an upload of embarrassment, which seemed to have happened a few times. Headband, Goon Squad, starting with AOI. I mean, this clip even made it into the almighty main channel, right? But Yieldiz stuck to his guns in his own comment section. I mean, it's the hill he's dying on. So while I was researching this situation, it dawned on me that maybe due to his, English being a second language, and I'm sure of that. He may jump the gun, but everybody deserves a mulligan, right? Yeah, he jumps the gun, but people do deserve a mulligan, and he seems to stay true to his convictions, which I preach a lot, even if he gets it wrong a few times. So maybe there's something to his passion, right? That's what I'm thinking. So I searched, and his newest upload at the time seemed like a good one. I wanted to see if he's just accusing, just trying to get some clout, or if there's some knowledge being dropped, any at all, anywhere. Give the guy the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he can learn something, if I can learn something from him, right? I mean, people make mistakes, but people also get it right, and that's what I'm looking for. He seems genuine. He's hard to get a hold of, but genuine nonetheless, right? So this clip that I found, Yieldiz claims Diaz Biffle's aimbot scripts glitch, malfunction, or screw up in some way, causing his reticle to stick on the player through the rock, which happens, to cheaters. So let's play the meat and potatoes of Yildiz's breakdown, and then we will analyze what he is claiming and compare it to what I think is actually happening. Then we will hop into Caldera and recreate the scenario even better, and then we will drop into some game development engine software and recreate the terrain mechanics as well, so we can get a bit more insight into what might be actually happening here, just to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt, right? But remember, Yieldiz is the one who said to debunk it. But before I get too deep, let's just watch this real quick.
So before I showed you like he shoots 7 shots into the wall, and he's like, what the fuck, something is wrong. So how many bullets you think he's gonna shoot onto the rock? Guess. 7 or more? Hallelujah. It's double that. It's 14 bullets that are failing on his cheats. Look, his cheats are just failing. The cheats aren't perfect, guys. Cheats will always fuck up. Look, I'm gonna explain it to you what's happening. Now we can see the barrel, but the cheats won't detect the guy as shootable, right? Right now we see the barrel, and right now we see the head. So the cheat engine will say this guy is shootable, right? Like in the same video that you see, look what's gonna happen. We have 50 bullets. He's gonna toggle the aimbot, but the aimbot will fill on him. 14 bullets straight. Miss, 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 miss. He's no getting hit markers, nothing. He's just shooting bedrock. We can see all the bedrock, all the stones fly away. Miss, 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 miss. It's the first bullet that he got off on a 36 or 37. So 13, 14 bullets went straight into the bedrock. Same thing happening right here. Here, proof is in the video. Same thing, exactly the same thing. Of course, it's not the same position, but it's just similar. It's 99% the same mechanics that fail.
Not done. I think you're gonna be close on these nuts.
Look how he's gonna toggle onto his head and is shooting the bedrock. But the guy is like, what the fuck is happening? So that's why he moves, right? He's like, what the fuck? Who's shooting me, right? Keep in mind. Keep in mind, guys. It's the same thing. Look, miss, 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 miss. See?
I think you're gonna be close on these nuts.
Look how many bullets he's missing. Get to slow it down more. Miss, toggle onto the rock. Miss, toggle, still toggled onto the rock. Still hitting those bedrocks. Still did no see no any hit markers. Nothing. Nothing. Exactly the same what happened here. Try to debunk it. Anybody. It's exactly the same thing. Like, he missed 13 bullets shooting deadlocked onto the guy's head through the wall. But he missed all of them because the guy is behind the rock. It's not shootable. But the aimbot is failing right now. Right? It's exactly the same thing. I just wanted to show you guys this. Cheers.
Okay, again, so I'm pretty sure that English is his second language. So what he is trying to say isn't as eloquently delivered as I assume he would like it to come across. Plus the guy gets real excited and starts talking even faster, you know. What I believe he is saying is that the aimbot sticks to the player even though his aimbot settings should have instead, theoretically, stuck to the visible back end part of the enemy. Which sort of seems to be the case. This is where Yildiz is onto something here, right? To confirm this suspicion, a few things have to be eliminated first. Because you can clearly see it sticking, you know, if the player was right there behind that rock, it would be stuck onto the player. But is that aimbot, or is Biffle actually trying to aim at that person, right? Like, is what's actually happening here? You have to ask yourself a few questions, right? Like, you know, first off, can Biffle aim? Does he have precision? Of course he does. We know if there's a visible enemy, he could have hit that part of the enemy if he wanted to, right? Because he's hit pixel perfect shots before, you know. There's quite a few clips, right? So is he trolling? Well, in the VOD that was up at that point in time, he was just going from kill to kill with no real hint of trolling beyond just what he was talking about with his boys, right? He was actually going for this kill, you know, and he's smart enough to know if he was to shoot the rock, you know, it wouldn't have been as, you know, precise. Like if he was trolling, he would have shot at it to make it seem like he's trying to shoot somebody through the wall, or, you know, locking on or something like that. It would have been obvious trolling. Number two, is Biffle stupid? Biffle knows the rock isn't wall bangable, and he wasn't trolling. He appears to not want to be seen or heard, so why would he miss shots and give his position away, have less bullets, which would put him in a disadvantage in this scenario? You know, he isn't stupid. Shooting the rock wasn't on purpose in a game where the total time to kill sometimes is less than a second, right? Those missed bullets without having time to reload could have made a huge difference. So 3, was Biffle trying to exploit the rocks due to some rocks having invisible texture mechanics that glitch, causing some rocks, terrain, and surfaces to either be wall bangable when they shouldn't be, or sometimes stop your bullets from passing through? So the first two, I am confident to say that Diaz Biffle wasn't trolling. He was actually trying to sneak this kill, and no, he isn't stupid. He wouldn't have took this shot just to bait the enemy when there is, you know, a part of the enemy shown visible that he could have actually shot. And we all have seen Biffy be Diffy, you know what I'm saying, and hit shots that only a few pixels are visible from further range with a lesser quality gun, right? So no, he didn't lose his aim assist either. Aim assist would have helped his reticle find the visible and damageable part of the enemy by slowing and pulling, you know, slightly to it instead of towards the rock. I mean, it would slow down if he was angling towards the rock, but if he really wanted to, he could have just angled towards the visible player and the aim assist would have guided him that way, right? So it's not aim assist. So right here, Biffle's aim is locked to the player and through the rock when he is experienced enough, or should be, to adjust and hit the visible part of the enemy. You know, it shouldn't be that hard. He could do that if he wanted to. We all agree on that. So back to the rocks. Maybe Biffle was in fact trying to manipulate the texture mechanics to shoot through the rock or the wall, however you want to say it, effectively trolling. Maybe that's what he was trying to do. Maybe he was trying to, you know, act as if he had silent aim that was going to hit through a rock that everybody knows is not wall bangable, thus making a sus viral clip, and but that's actually potentially legit. You know, I don't think he was going up there to troll necessarily, but I think he might have took the opportunity just to see what would happen, because I do think that he is intelligent enough to know about texture mechanics. So let me show you what I'm talking about. You see how these players glitch through the rocks when it should act solid and stop them, but they just walk right in. You know, what if I told you the opposite was true, that there are invisible objects that should allow you to walk through, but in turn glitches and stops you, or sometimes allows the texture that it's next to act as it does and become clear. You could shoot through it even though it doesn't seem like you can. Sometimes this happens. So this diagram I'm creating will show you a basic recreation. Sometimes there are invisible things within a game. These things can be sound cues, they can be 2D circles on the ground, they could be spheroids, they make animation or sound cues, like Giggz is seeing here with the rocks flying. That's because bullets are interacting with the surface texture mechanic, and animation is triggered because of this. It's an invisible asset which are placed near things like boulders and rocks for effects like this. If you toggle, you can see that to the developer that this part is visible, but not to the player. It just looks like a part of the terrain, but to developer, it is the area that houses the sound and dust animations. Water is another common feature for the sound and bubbly, foamy animations. These are all invisible things that are just beneath the surface or around the surface. Sometimes, you know, above the surface, slightly above the character camera. But and I think this is because Biff is intelligent. I think he's trying to manipulate these surface texture mechanics to get an otherwise impossible wall bang for the memes. And what I mean by that is, normally you have a sound cue that's invisible. You can walk past it and it just makes a sound cue. You should be able to walk right through it. But sometimes if it's clipping into, and sometimes a glitch happens to where if it's on a physical object, it will in turn make that physical object act invisible, so which means you can shoot through it. And I think Biffle knows that, and he was just trying to maybe see if he could cause that glitch. So on the bottom, the low ground, there is Biff, and his opponent is behind the rock on the high ground. I think Biffle himself thinks he can shoot through part of the rock to glitch the surface texture mechanic in his favor, to allow his bullets to penetrate the rock when it shouldn't, which would explain why he keeps shooting the rock when he can easily hit the exposed part of the enemy. It failed for him here, but I'm assuming he has done this enough times to confidently be willing to waste half a clip to get a non-bangable hit marker. So he probably has accomplished this before. Otherwise, his aimbot got stuck, like Giggz is saying, right? I mean, what else could you say beyond that? Because he could hit that shot if he wanted to. Well, to see if these rocks actually can be glitched this way, which I'm thinking Biffle has done in the past, and so these rocks should be glitchable if that's what's happening here. Otherwise, it's aimbot lock on, so it is, right? But if these rocks are glitchable, that's probably what he's trying to do. So let's hop into Caldera and recreate it. If these rocks are, you know, as I think they will, actually have some bullets register through them. Some may not, but a few should if my hunch is correct anyway. My goal is to get a hit marker with a tiny part of the enemy shown to show that that's possible. And also to get hit markers through the rocks. Rocks that are not wall bangable, but due to this texture mechanic glitch, might be. And let's just see if my hunch is correct. So I got a few clips, and I wanted one for each of my goals, but I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't exactly recreate it until almost my last attempt. I mean, it was tough to get these rocks to even try to wall bang. And well, I don't want to spoil it for you, but okay, so the audio corrupted, but not the video, which will suffice just to prove my points. We don't necessarily need the audio. So flying in, I see this guy at essentially the same rock from a different angle, and all these rocks are just copy and paste, assets of one another and manipulated to fit in for cover and make it look like a mountain, right? So any rock should theoretically have the same sort of texture mechanic glitch, right? If you can shoot it and it causes an animation, then it has some sort of invisible sphere or 2D circle around it somewhere that only a developer can see, but we can't. So I'm rocking a zero recoil Modern Warfare M13. Zero recoil isn't aimbot. It's just if you're an experienced player and you have good tracking recoil control, this just makes it even more easier when the gun is built this way to have laser accuracy. And I need the precision for our first go, which as you can see I accomplish, which means Biffy can definitely do it. You know what I'm saying? If I can do it, he can do it, period. So he can definitely hit that marker, that exposed part of the enemy, if he chooses to, if he's had legit aim anyway, right? But you can see all of my other hit markers that register are in fact registering on the visible part of the enemy. I tried to hit the rock multiple times. My bullets stray from the rock to the player. I'm trying to get some visible shots register through the rock. Zero are hitting through the rock, and all of my other clips were the same result. No matter how close the enemy is to the rock, I could not get one to glitch the surface mechanics, which means these rock textures to surface planes or the rock walls, if you will, cannot be glitched. They are fully optimized in a way which totally throws my theory out of the window about Biffle having done this before, which led him to feel confident to do it again, because he was actually going for that kill. He wouldn't have done that if he didn't think he could. I mean, and not, at least not in my opinion. Why would you? You're wasting half a clip in a game where the total time to kill is less than a second. That seems not very smart, and he's a smart player. But it's not possible here. It's just not. In other parts of the map, sure, but you can't reasonably assume Biffle would try it here for the first time without means testing it first. And the way his reticle does lock on through the surface of the rock indicates that Yildiz is potentially right. There is no rendering or compression issues, and all of my developer knowledge in Unity, which is not the same game engine, but these mechanics are all similar across these engines, right? They all act similarly. All of my knowledge can't disprove Yildiz's claim. It's the only thing that I could come up with, because it is definitely a lock on, and if he wasn't trying to shoot the rock on purpose, there's no reason why aimbot or legit aim he wouldn't be able to hit the exposed part of the enemy. There's no reason why he wouldn't be able to. But you can see it visibly locks on, staying center to upper chest, locked through the rock. Yildiz has a better explanation of this clip than all the excuses I would throw to debunk it. What does this show us? Well, maybe we shouldn't discredit someone for a few mistakes, but maybe also that person should, be able to amend those mistakes and be willing to admit when they're wrong. That way clips like this can shine through and do your channel some justice. So Yildiz, I'll put your channel and the link below. I think you did a good job. So everybody go drop him a sub. Yildiz, make yourself, more reachable, bro. trying to help you out, trying to reach out to you. We are a community, not competition, and that goes for all parties involved. So until next time, piss off. 2 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe, and I get more ass than a toilet seat. 3 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I met a bad bitch last night in the D. Let me tell you how I made her leave with me. Conversation and Hennessy.